everybody, and welcome back to my channel for another video here with me, Addict. Oh my goodness, you guys, what a crazy week it has been so far since the re-release of The Sims 2. First of all, if you found me and my channel through my last video where I reacted to the release of the game in general, hello! Thank you so much for the engagement and the views on the video. If you subscribed from that video, thank you very much for that as well. I've been really busy, my channel's been blowing up, my Discord's been popping off. Oh my goodness, it's all been happening, and yeah, what a crazy time to be a Sims 2 player and a Sims 2 fan with everything that's been going on. On the one hand, Legacy Edition does seem to be maybe worse than I initially thought. On the other hand, it does look like EA are going to actually be offering some ongoing support for the game, and thank goodness for that, because if you take a look at reports from players on, in particular, the Sims 2 forums, and also on Reddit and on Tumblr and different places, it seems like EA has tweaked more of the Sims 2 source code than I originally thought, or I originally realized when I was doing a little bit of poking around and testing in the game. Now, I returned my copy of the Sims 2 Legacy Edition because I don't need it, I don't want it. I'm very happy with my Ultimate Collection. It runs very well for me on my Linux system, and I just thought, you know, this isn't worth 50 Australian dollars, so I returned it. Part of me wishes I hadn't done that because it seems like keeping it around to do some further testing and bug investigating could have been a fun idea and may have actually been a helpful thing. But yeah, it sounds like the Sims team has recompiled the game. Missed opportunity to recompile for 64-bit OS, but you know, we'll just ignore that and move on. Because there are a whole host of new bugs that people are encountering with the Sims 2 Legacy Edition, and it has inspired me to make a video for you all about Sims 2 bugs that existed beforehand, how to fix them, and Sims 2 bugs that are new and what you might want to do about them. So first of all, let me just say, yes, The Sims 2 has bugs, and it always has. The Sims 2 was released on discs. This was back in the day before games were released online, where video game companies could just go, oh, you've got bugs? No worries, let's just patch that for you and fix it up. Back in the day when The Sims 2 was released, bugs were in the game. They were sometimes patched when, you know, the next expansion pack or stuff pack would come out, but in general, there were a lot of bugs that were left behind by Maxis in The Sims 2 that if it has been up to modders to fix for the last 15-20 years. And so yes, there are bugs in The Sims 2, and we're going to talk about all of those bugs today. But it does seem like this new edition of The Sims 2 has come with a whole host of new bugs. So if we go ahead and take a look at the Sims 2 support forums, we are seeing some really concerning bug reports. In particular, Sims and pets disappearing from the game. This is a horrifying bug, okay? This is a terrible bug, and I will get to why in a bit, but that's new, okay? Some players have had trouble with Sims files disappearing in the past on Ultimate Collection when OneDrive or antivirus were involved. So Microsoft OneDrive has long been renowned as a bad thing for your Sims 2 game. If your My Documents and everything, all your game files are saved on OneDrive, OneDrive is a little bit renowned for losing files here and there, and so some players have had issues with this in the past, but definitely not to the scale of what Sims 2 Legacy players are experiencing. Similarly, with antivirus software, there have been instances in the past where antivirus software has looked at a Sims file and gone, that's a virus, and deleted it. But that tends to be more for mod files and custom content files and less for actual game files. So I've seen a lot of claims on the community. I've seen arguments on X, I've seen Reddit threads, I've seen it all in this last week of people going, oh, that's always been a problem with The Sims 2. Sims have always disappeared from the game. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Not to the scale that we're seeing right now, definitely. So that is a really concerning bug, and I will tell you why, and it is because it can cause memory corruption. So what players are reporting is that their Sims are disappearing, and in the Memories tab, memories associated with their Sims or with their pets are being replaced by subject with a $sign, and that means the Sim is literally gone and they've been replaced by nothing. So EA need to patch that. immediately. I have no advice on how to fix that. Make sure your antivirus is, ignoring your Sims 2 files for sure. And if you are using OneDrive, tread carefully. But otherwise, that's a really bad bug that Maxis need to patch. Other bugs that we're seeing reported on these forums, we're seeing the alien abduction cutscene is broken, and I've also heard reports that the alien baby birth cutscene is also bugged, and your sim will just lie on the floor for the whole cutscene, which is interesting. Another report of Sims disappearing here. We're seeing lots of reports of, error messages and object error bugs. We're seeing reports of magazine subscriptions not working. We're seeing reports of pets being quite broken in general, so pet jobs being broken, Sims not being able to scold pets for things that they should be able to scold pets for. A good friend of mine and member of my Discord, PhD Simmer, actually went ahead and did a bunch of testing around pets for us the other night because we were curious, and she confirmed for us that there are scold interactions that are just missing from the game. Like her dog was destroying the furniture and her sim was not able to scold the pet for doing so. Her dog was eating sim food and the sim was not able to scold the pet for doing so. So that just appears to be broken in general. And then users are also reporting that when their pet has a career and they try to they are due for promotion, the game errors out with that as well. There is a confirmed bug now, which I stumbled upon in my original playtest of The Sims 2 Legacy, which is that custom skins in Creator Sim is broken. And you can see that one listed here as well. The custom skins window is not closing when it should be closing. I saw a bug report this morning that the recolor tool was broken. I saw a bug report about Sims not producing memories properly. I've seen bug reports that Sims cannot write, eat. Again, memories not forming. I've seen reports that the serve food interaction is broken. This is horrendous. EA, what have you done to The Sims 2? If any of you are playing The Sims 2 for the first time and you're going I'm getting so many errors, I'm getting so many issues, this game does not appear to be working, I promise you, these are new bugs. This has not been a problem with The Sims 2 in the past. So I did just want to clear that up right off the bat because I do not want to see people hating on The Sims 2 being like this game is terrible because of EA breaking the game even more than it was already broken. As I did acknowledge at the start of the video, The Sims 2 has always had its fair share of bugs. And so today I wanted to take you through some of the existing bugs that The Sims 2 has always had and the mods that have been released over the last 15 years that fix those bugs. Because as I said, for the last 15 years, it's just been up to modders to fix The Sims 2 and get it working well. So if you do a Google search for something along the lines of Sims 2 essential mods, you are going to come up with a bunch of results. There are a lot of essential mod lists out there, and in those mod lists will always be a section for necessary or essential anti-corruption mods. Let's talk for a minute about Sims 2 and the word corruption. The word corruption has been thrown around in conjunction with The Sims 2 for a very long time. A lot of players for a long time thought that The Sims 2 was very corruptible in general, that it was easy to corrupt your game, lose your save files, etc. for things to go wrong. Recently, there's been a lot of investigation into Sims 2 corruption, and in particular, if you're interested in exploring this topic and you haven't seen April Black's videos on corruption on YouTube, I highly recommend checking them out. April Black is a very smart person who went in and did technical deep dives into all of the corruption claims that exist around The Sims 2 and corruption, and basically just went, you know what, this game's actually pretty solid. The coding is solid. It's very hard to actually corrupt your Sims 2 game. But so if you do Google an essential mods list for The Sims 2, you will find sections where people talk about necessary or essential mods. Now, the other day, a very well-known and respected member of the Sims 2 community known as Huge Lunatic reached out to me and said, hey, I'm wanting to put together a list of essential mods for The Sims 2 that are actually essential. And we sort of were chatting about it a little bit. Looney's a bit of a friend of mine. She killed me in Minecraft one time, and ever since then, I think we've been good mates. So we were chatting a little bit and talking about a lot of these mod lists that exist, and sort of talking about how a lot of the mods that you'll find on this list are not actually 100% essential. It's just they may be essential for one particular player in the way that they like to play the game. So we wanted to sit down together and put together a list of bug fix anti-corruption, smoother Sims 2 experience mods for you all. And then we also reached out to a couple of other Sims players and Sim modders to get them to weigh in on our list as well. So I have a bit of a gift for you all today, really. In the video description, I have linked to you all a Google document which contains a list of curated Sims 2 mods that should apply to both Ultimate Collection players or Starter Pack Collection players and also potentially Legacy Edition players. Because as far as we know, most of these old bugs have not been fixed by EA in this Legacy iteration of The Sims 2. Again, this is as far as we know, and there is ongoing testing into all of this that is happening in the community. There is also ongoing testing into mod compatibility going on in the community, and I'm going to link a spreadsheet below as well for people who are contributing together to test mods in Legacy and see if they work or don't work. But yeah, so the Sims 2 Essential Mods Master List by Addict, Huge Lunatic, Jawusa, Lamar, and Simnopki. For those of you who have been around the Sims community, you will no doubt recognize some of these names, hopefully, because these are some really seriously talented Sims 2 modders who have come together, and we have, had a chat and had a think about what are actually Sims 2 Essential mods and Sims 2 Essential bug fixes that you should probably download if you're a Sims 2 player. So we've gone ahead and we've broken up our mods master list into categories that you can see over the side here. We do have the essentials. These are, in our opinion, essential mods for if you want to play The Sims 2 and you want to protect your save files from getting bloated, from becoming unplayable, and from potentially getting corrupted. Although again, I use the word corrupted with, asterisks. Then we also have a big section for bug fixes. And these are mods that are great to have for fixing quirky Maxis behavior rather than major game-breaking bugs. So there, as I said, there are a lot of bugs. There are a lot of things that remained unfixed in The Sims 2. And these mods that we have listed here go into a lot of those fixes. Then we have this section, which is all about visual upgrades. So these are UI fixes and UI related mods that any player may want to put into their game. We have got a couple of notes here that most of these will definitely apply to Ultimate Collection or Starter Pack, but may not be as applicable to Legacy Edition players, because I know that Legacy Edition has introduced some UI changes and fixes. So if you are a Legacy Collection player, use this just with a grain of salt and see how it goes for you. It may not be necessary, or it may already be covered, or it may actually break your game further. I'm not sure. But so we do have a section of UI related mods. And then the final section we have here are what we have called gameplay upgrade mods. And these are mods that we couldn't quite agree on in terms of how essential or necessary they are, but they are some major mods that a lot of players use and that we would recommend using if you want a smoother overall gameplay experience, a more consistent overall gameplay experience, and potentially just less bugs and less annoyance with The Sims 2. This section could have been 3 times the size, okay? We went back and forth debating this a fair bit. So it has been curated. Let me just say this louder for the people in the back. There are hundreds, literally hundreds, if not thousands of mods out there for The Sims 2, and your opinion on what is essential may not be our opinion on what is essential, and that's okay. You might have mods that are essential for your style of gameplay. You may have mods that you consider essential that are actually more like convenience mods. We get it, okay? We just wanted to put together a smaller list, a slightly smaller list for people to get started with. But so today I want to take you through our essentials and bug fixes lists in particular, and show you the mods that we have listed here, talk about them a little bit, and talk about why they are helpful. So the first mod that I'm going to show you guys is the FFS Batbox Lot Debugger, originally by Pescado. And this one has a couple of different versions you can download that are mostly just cosmetic. So you can download it as the original Batbox, which I'll show you in a second. You can also download it as a pretty little vase, or you can download it as a choosable model where you can toggle the object model in-game. But this object is useful for clearing various lot errors, deleting trash memories, and more. So let me show you guys a little bit about the Batbox. This is my very cute cabin in the woods. Just ignore the gravestone out the front. It's not important. And this right here is the bat box. So you can see why you may want to download this as a pretty vase instead of this massive ugly bat box. I usually just hide this in a Sims foundation or roof, so I've got it. But this object allows you to do a couple of different things. If you are experiencing glitchiness or bugginess on a particular lot, the first step that I would recommend is to use the bat box, click on it, say memory, clear trash, and nuke attraction markers. You can also use this to clear gossip memories from people in your town as well. You can also use this to fix a bunch of different things that can go wrong in your neighborhood. You can use it to fix stupid expressions, which is where a sim gets a random expression stuck on their face. You can use this to re-randomize sim generator, which is a mod, is something I'll talk about in a little bit, but I don't use this feature because I have another mod that handles that. You can use this to fix things that are flashing blue. You can use this to fix stuck tans and burns, bad apartment residences, and dangling furiousness when the hood is getting a little bit funny. You can also go in here to the nuke menu and you can nuke global earnstone tokens, sim schedulers, and scenario controllers. And this can all help if your lot is experiencing some strange bugs. You can also use the force errors feature on all, on in-world or on off-world. And basically this is kind of like reset everything in the Sims 3 master controller, if you've ever used that mod, where you can use this to force errors on everything and basically make it reset. The only thing I'll say is that if you are playing with bullprop testing cheats enabled true, which I'll cover in a future video, and you want to force errors on everything, make sure you turn testing cheats off before you force errors on everything. Otherwise it's just a pain in the tuchus. But yeah, this is the bat box. This is kind of the first line of defense. When you're starting to experience any like glitchy weirdness on a lot in The Sims 2, I recommend whacking out the bat box and clearing up some stuff. Now, if you do have testing cheats enabled true, you can also shift click on the bat box and this gives you extra things, but I don't recommend playing around with much of this unless you know what you're doing, because this is some advanced debugging stuff in here. Definitely watch out for that one. The next one that we have listed here is the Stuck Object Remover by Pescado, which is for deleting invisible stuck objects such as flue, marker spots, and more. So this one is, I also call the nuke box, because this is what it looks like. And basically what this does, how you use this, is if you have something really weird going on your lot, you can put this down and anything that this is intersecting with, it will delete. Visible or invisible. And in particular, this is really useful for invisible things. So sometimes what can happen in The Sims 2 is there can be a bug where a certain spot on the floor will be a flue marker spot. And anytime any sim walks over that spot, they will get sick with the flu. I'm not kidding. It is so annoying. Another thing that can sometimes happen is you're trying to build and there'll be butterflies in the yard and you can't delete the butterflies at all, but you can with the nuke box. It can also nuke any other invisible tokens or invisible markers that happen to be on a particular spot. But yeah, so just to show you guys, let's use this pile of leaves, for example. I'm going to put the nuke box right on top of this pile of leaves over here. And as soon as I go back into gameplay and hit play, it's going to disappear and it's going to tell me that it has burninated the leaf pile that was there. So if there was anything else there that was bugged or stuck, it would also pop up and tell me it had deleted that particular thing. So the nuke box is a really, really helpful tool if you are experiencing weird glitches on your lot. The next mod that we have listed is the Super Duper Hug Bug Test by Chris Hatch. Now, the Super Duper Hug Bug is a very aptly named bug that you can encounter in particular when you either remove mods from your game, in particular custom interaction mods. But the main way I would say this mod comes in handy is when you're downloading lots from other creators. So other creators may create a lot, upload it to share, and then you may download it and install it into your game. And because you don't have some weird random mod that the creator had, the lot can be infected, what we call infected, with the Super Duper Hug Bug. And what will basically happen is that the Sims that live on your lot will just constantly try to hug each other. I see this happen a lot with apartment lots in particular, and I have experienced this. I have downloaded a custom apartment lot, moved some Sims in, and then everyone's just constantly trying to hug each other. Now, why is that a problem? Well, when Sims are constantly trying to hug each other, but they don't have a very high relationship, it doesn't go so well for them. They tend to get that interaction constantly rejected, and that can lead to constant fighting and people being furious with each other. It's very, very, very annoying. I know it might not sound that annoying, but trust me, if you ever download a lot that's infected with Hugbug, oh my goodness, does it get old quickly. So Super Duper Hugbug Test is a mod that will take care of that for you. It will delete the Super Duper Hugbug if it encounters it. We do have a note here that you can also use no sim loaded, see below. And that one is down here, probably should have, no sim loaded, tweaked by a modder named Midge the Tree. And this also includes the Hugbug fix. So if you use no sim loaded, you don't need this mod, but we'll get to no sim loaded in a bit. Sim Shadow Fix is a fix for the black box shadows that exist in the Ultimate Collection or Starter Pack version of the game. If you're playing with DXVK, then you won't see black box sim shadows. And if you're playing the legacy version, you also will not see black box sim shadows, because essentially in the legacy version, they seem to have taken the code from the sim shadow fix from Sim Nopkey and implemented it into their re-release. So this is what it looks like when you have a black box shadow under a sim, and then you can download a version of this mod to fix the sim shadows. So that is a really helpful mod if you're playing on Ultimate Collection or Starter Pack and you don't use DXVK, you're going to want the Sim Shadow fix. Then we have the Firstborn Syndrome fix. And for this mod, thanks to the Lazy Duchess, we actually already have a version for Legacy, and there's also a version for the Ultimate Collection. So the Firstborn Syndrome is a bug that has been around in The Sims 2 for a very, very long time. And what it basically means is that when a couple has babies or multiple babies in a single gameplay session, all of those babies will come out clones of each other. They will all come out with the same looks, the same face, everything. The genetics do not get mixed properly, and you just get clone babies. There is a way to fix this in game, which is to, before you start playing, go into Create a Sim and roll the pacifier a few times. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so in Create a Sim, when you have created two Sims and say you want these Sims to be a family and have some children, you can come over to here, hit Create a Sim, and hit this little pacifier button here to make a child. The game will then take the genetics of these two Sims and create a child. And you can hit this button as many times as you want to randomize the child as a random combination of these two Sims. And this is what we mean by rolling the pacifier. Every time you click this, you are rolling the pacifier. So if you come into Create a Sim and do this before any gameplay, you will not have the Firstborn Syndrome. However, that is, in my mind, a pain in the butt, because you have to go in, create two Sims, roll the pacifier, and then it's just, you know, it's just a giant pain. Also, I accidentally closed my game there. I didn't mean to do that. The other way that you can fix this bug is the option that I showed you guys before on the bat box, which is to re-randomize sim generator. If you come onto the bat box and you go into fix, re-randomize sim generator, that will also fix the Firstborn Syndrome fix. However, I could never remember to do that. You'd have to do that every time you had a pregnant sim who was about to give birth in every gameplay session. So thanks to the Lazy Duchess, as I mentioned, we have an ASI mod that is a fix for this. There is a download link here for if you're playing with Ultimate Collection, and there is a version here now that Lazy Duchess released literally yesterday for if you're playing Legacy, because Lazy Duchess was doing some poking around and testing and basically went, okay, you know, they haven't fixed Firstborn Syndrome in Legacy version. So highly recommend grabbing that mod. We also have a mod by Lazy Duchess, which is a fix for the too many iterations errors that can plague your game sometimes. Currently, this one is only for the Ultimate Collection or Starter Pack. No Legacy Edition yet, but hopefully Lazy Duchess will figure out a way to implement this into Legacy Edition if need be. We also have another one by Lazy Duchess, which is a fix for overly bright Create a Sim, and this is a bug that you can encounter when you're playing with shaders turned on or custom shaders in your game, where Create a Sim can get way too bright. And so we can see an example of that here. The sim is all lit up and it's really weird, but this mod fixes that. This one should work for either Legacy Edition or Ultimate Collection. I'm not actually sure if Legacy Edition still has the overly bright creator sim bug, because they did redo the rendering engine for Legacy Edition, but if any Legacy Edition players do run into a way too bright creator sim, that would be the fix for you. Then our last one listed here under essential mods is face template fixes by Argon. So basically in Creator Sim, there are 27 default face templates, and face template 21 and face template 25 are broken. This mod basically fixes those two face templates and stops sims with those face templates from having broken genetics, which is great. In our next section here, we have a list of mods that are very useful to prevent save bloating. Now, save bloating can cause, in some cases, your saves to become unloadable. And that is why we recommend these mods. While they may not be 100% necessary for bug fixing or preventing corruption, they are very necessary, in our opinion, for protecting your saves and ensuring longevity in your save files in The Sims 2. So we have anti-redundancy by Pescado, which stops the game from spawning redundant NPCs. It's fairly self-explanatory, but basically it just stops the game from spawning character files that it doesn't need to spawn. We have a very similar one by Pescado, which is no townie regen, and this stops the game from constantly spawning new townies and filling your game with characters. If you do use this mod and you play a neighborhood for a very, very long time, and you say you move in and marry in a bunch of townie sims, then eventually your game will run out of townies, in which case you may want to create some new townies.
Hey guys, Editing Beth here. I just realized as I was making this video that a newcomer to The Sims 2 may not actually know or really understand what I'm talking about right here when I'm talking about NPCs and townies and all of these different sort of phrases for explaining Sims. So let me just clear this up for you really quickly. An NPC is a non-playable character. They can be the Grim Reaper, Mrs. Crumplebottom, the Stinky Skunk. Lots of different characters in The Sims 2 are called NPCs, and even within the category of NPC, there are different levels of NPC-ness. Some NPCs are safe to interact with, move in, marry your Sims, and some NPCs are not. Once again, if you're interested in more detail on this, I recommend checking out April Black's YouTube channel, and she goes into a big deep dive into NPCs. Townies are Sims who exist in a bubble just around the neighborhood. They don't live in any lot. They don't live anywhere in particular. They don't age. They get jobs. They meet people. They buy things from your stores. You'll see them on community lots. They'll walk past your house. You can marry them, move them in, have babies with them, whatever you want to do. But they don't technically live anywhere in the neighborhood. So townies are super useful because, you know, if you're running a business and you want customers, you probably want to have townies. And if you want eligible marriageable Sims, but you don't want to play with them all the time in your rotation, townies are great. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about townies. A playable sim in The Sims 2 is a sim who lives on a lot in the neighborhood somewhere, and you can load into their lot and you can play them and you can live out their life. So I just wanted to clear that up because I realized it may be a bit confusing.
And I've said here, so if you're using this, you can occasionally create new townies via in-game tools. So what I mean by that is if we play with, turn on bullprop, testing, cheats, enabled, true, and I usually always play with this turned on, but some people don't. With this turned on, we can shift click on my sim, go into spawn, and click on the NPC and townie maker, and this really weird looking gun will appear on the floor, and using this we can generate new townies. So this is an in-game feature, it's not a mod, it just comes with default Sims 2, and we can customize the townie that we are creating. We can set what age we want them to be, what skin tone we want them to have, what gender we want them to have, and it is a very, very useful feature. We can also use this to make Sims into townies. We can murder all of our townies with this if we want to. We can make garden club members. This is a really cool little thing. Not everyone knows about this, so if you do play with no townie regen and you find yourself needing some new townies, go ahead and use the little townie gun. Handy dandy. We have a very similar mod, which is No Stray Respawn by Pescado and tweaked by Midge the Tree. So Midge the Tree, by the way, is a great modder who has for the last 10 years or so been taking old mods for The Sims 2 and just tweaking them, upgrading them, making them a little bit more user-friendly and straightforward. So this is very similar to the no townie regen and anti-redundancy mods in that it prevents over spawning of stray animals. So in The Sims 2 you can adopt a pet through the phone. So we can call a service. Townie gun's in the way. And we can call the pet adoption service. And then doing this will force the game to create some pets that she is able to adopt. So the pet adoption right now is fairly empty. I might want to go ahead and create some new stray pets for my neighborhood, to be honest, because there's only one cat and one dog available. This is because in this neighborhood, Bayland, stray pets are constantly getting adopted. by The Sims. This is a town that I play on Twitch. So yeah, we love our stray pets in Bayland. We adopt them all the time. But yeah, so you can come in here and adopt stray pets. And so if you play with no stray respawn, you may occasionally want to go ahead and create some new strays for your town. And I believe you can do that. Yeah, you can do that here with the NPC and Townie Maker as well. You can spawn some new cats, small dogs, and large dogs, and then you can use the Townie Maker to turn them into a stray as well. So I will just demonstrate that for you right now. I'm going to set species, small dog, and then I'm going to generate a stray. And we now have a new stray dog for my neighborhood. Here he is. His name is Duke. He's very cute. He won't remain a stray for long. And then I can keep or kill. So I'm going to keep him. And then it says, don't forget to save your game. Fantastic. So again, really helpful in-game tool. Not a mod, just a Maxis thing that they put in the game for us. Thank you, Maxis. Our next mod here is called There Can Only Be One Professor by Saijon, and this prevents the game from spawning more university professors than necessary. So by default in The Sims 2, each university degree will spawn 2 professors for the degree that your sim can meet and interact with, and There Can Only Be One Professor basically prevents that from happening more than absolutely necessary. So it'll try to reuse professors rather than constantly making new professors, which again prevents save bloating in terms of character files. The next mod we have listed is Apartment Residence, and this is by Midge the Tree. And this basically tells the game to fill empty apartment lots with existing townies instead of spawning new ones. So when you have an apartment lot, there are 4 available apartments on most apartment lots, and say you move in one family, then the other 4 apartments will be filled with other random sims. In an unmodded game, the game will usually generate new sims to fill those apartments, but with this mod, the game will use an existing townie to fill the apartment. Once again, helpful mod for preventing save bloat. Then we have no dormy respawns, which stops the game from constantly spawning new dormies for university. If dormies graduate, you will need to manually create new ones using in-game tools. And once again, you can do that using the NPC and Townie Maker. But so again, this just stops your game from generating way too many character files and way more sims than is actually needed. Then we have a section here for probably should have these mods. Boiling Oils, No Sim Loaded, tweaked by Midge, which as I mentioned before includes a fix for the hug bug, but also comes along with a bunch of extra features to fry various tokens and potentially bug-causing things every time you load into a lot. So whenever I load into a new lot in The Sims 2, I get a pop-up. Well, not whenever, often when I load into a new lot, I get a pop-up saying that No Sim Loaded has fried various tokens, and it basically just prevents your lots from getting bugged and from getting unloadable potentially in some cases. Chris Hatch's Lot Cleaner. This is an object which appears in the catalog as a globe. So this is the globe lot cleaner. I'm not going to click on it right now because it will break my lot. Use with caution. But this is a very helpful object for if you want to upload a lot to share. It will basically completely clean the lot of all sim references, of all potential tokens or bugs or anything that comes with packaging a lot for sharing in The Sims 2. Because creators don't use this is why we get lots that are infected with Hugbug. So it's a very helpful tool if you are wanting to share lots or if you download lots from other creators. A good practice would be to pop a lot down in the neighborhood, load into it, click on the globe, and just by clicking on it, it cleans the lot. You're done. You don't need to do anything else. Then you instantly save and leave the lot. So let me actually demonstrate because it always makes more sense, I think, when you see things in real time. Okay, so over here I have a couple of empty houses. So say I packaged this lot to a file and shared it online for you all to download, and you download it and put it into your game. Because I am a responsible simmer, before packaging it and uploading it to share with you all, I would come in here, I would come into miscellaneous, and I would click on the globe cleaner. Then I would save and exit the lot. This lot is now clean and ready for sharing. So if you download a lot and you're not sure if the lot has been cleaned, I recommend putting it down, coming into miscellaneous, clicking on the globe, saving and exiting before you move any sims in. If you've already got sims living on the lot, don't do that, okay? It will break the lot. But for an empty lot, very good tool to use. Then we have Smarter EP Check by Saijon. This one is not actually essential, but it is essential if you use other mods by Saijon, and we do have a bunch of other Saijon mods listed here in our essentials mod master list, so you're probably going to want Smarter EP Check. We also have Pie Menu Text Strings Fix by Lord Darcy, and this is especially useful for simmers playing in foreign languages. It is useful for simmers playing in English too, but this is just a little mod that fixes pie menu strings. So what we mean by that are these little pie menu options here. So that is a very good thing to have in your game. Non-consensus. Maybe essential, maybe not. Probably good to have them anyway. This is where April Black's video on corruption kind of confused a lot of people. Basically, these mods used to be thought as very essential. Do not play your game without these mods. No corrupt death and no unlink on delete. No auto earn cleanup is also a very similar one. So basically this relates to when a sim dies, they leave behind a gravestone, and some players would delete the gravestone. They would pick it up and sell it in buy mode. And when that would happen, the game would partially shred the character data from the sim who had died. Now, April Black basically did a big investigation into this and into exactly how game-breaking that was or was not, and found that it's actually not as game-breaking as we originally thought. However, it's probably still a good idea to have these mods in your game to stop that from happening anyway. This section here, useful for in-game modding, this is still under construction. But this includes some links for some helpful tools for modding in game while you are playing. We have the Sim Blender and we also have the Visitor Controller. So the Sim Blender is this funky little tree, and this is a mod that is similar to Master Controller by NRAS or the MC Command Center. So Master Controller applies to The Sims 3, MC Command Center applies to The Sims 4. This basically just lets you edit various things about your sim, and it's very helpful. We can edit her age, we can edit her aspiration, we can change all sorts of things that we set in Create a Sim when we create the sim, and we can also teleport other sims over to our lot using this. We can change people's names with this. It's just a very helpful mod if you are playing The Sims 2. We do recommend having the Sim Blender. Another alternative option to the Sim Blender is the Sim Manipulator, but it is beyond the scope of this video to go into detail about the differences between Sim Blender and Sim Manipulator. This vase here, this plant here, is the Visitor Controller, and this is super helpful for community lots. When you're playing and you want to control who appears on community lots or who doesn't, this is a mod that can allow you extra control over that sort of thing. So for example, I can ban anyone who is a townie from appearing on my lot. You're just not allowed. If they try to appear on my lot, they'll be instantly teleported away. I can also ban children. Don't like kids, never have. Don't come to my lot. So this might be useful, say you're playing like a bar and it's a bit of a risque bar and you don't think that teenagers or children should be appearing at your bar lot. You might want to ban them with the Visitor Controller. You can also use this to ban sims of specific aspiration. You can ban sims, or you can force sims to wear certain clothes when they appear on your lot. You can only allow sims with certain hobbies to appear on your lot. That's a really fun feature. And yeah, as I said, this isn't really related to bugs, but it's a cool mod. Alrighty, moving into section 2, mods that are great to have for fixing bugs that were left behind by Maxis, which are potentially not game-breaking bugs, but are bugs that may annoy you and may cause errors to pop up as you play through the game. So we have a list of mods here that all have a brief description. I am not going to go through these in as much detail as I did the other ones, but just to give you an overview. We have a couple of mods by Pescado, vacation fixes, and open for business fixes. These mods just fix a bunch of bugs that were related to Bon Voyage and open for business expansion packs. I personally play with both of these mods in my game just to, again, reduce the amount of errors that I get in my game. Exercise bike fix. This is a fairly essential one. As you can read here, it stops Sims from using the exercise bike until they die. Yeah. Self-explanatory-ish, but basically in the exercise category, we have a cute little exercise bike. And if you put the exercise bike down on a community lot, say for example a gym, your townies may hop on that exercise bike and use it until they literally die. It's bugged. Yeah, so you probably want the exercise bike fix. Then we have a couple of mods relating to child ghosts, because we all know Simmers are a little bit weird and sometimes bad things happen to kids and they die. Kids can die in The Sims too. So these mods relate to child ghosts. The first one is Child Ghost NPC Summon Fix. Fix is a glitch where a child ghost will be collected by an NPC parent if they stay on the lot too late, which can lead to bad things. So basically, when a child is on a lot past the time of 6 p.m, they will usually come and be collected by a parent. And if that child happens to be a ghost and they don't happen to have a legitimate parent to come and collect them, the game will, unmodded, send in an NPC to do that, and potentially not an NPC that should do that. So there are some NPCs in The Sims 2 that you do not want to summon unless under very specific circumstances. So this mod basically just stops that from being a possibility. And then Ghost Children Float by Early Pleasant View is necessary for child ghosts to behave properly. So without this mod, child ghosts will just teleport around the lot, but with this mod they will float like a ghost should. Business CLP Fix is a mod that fixes an error that is sometimes thrown on open for business community lot businesses where the lot will fail to fill with customers. Very helpful. Very helpful if you play a lot of open for business. Physiology Fix by Gummylut fixes a bug where if a sim has learned physiology, their body skill will max out within 2 minutes of exercising. So by default in The Sims 2, oh, do you not have a bookcase, Bethy? Right, so here's a bookshelf. We can study something known as physiology, which will give your sim various buffs relating to health and wellness and exercise. However, in an unmodded game, once your sim has studied physiology, the next time they exercise, they will just max out their body skill instantly, pretty much. It'll be like, your sim's gained a body skill, your sim's gained a body skill, your sim's gained a body skill. It's a very broken thing that was never patched. So a very talented modder named Gummylut fixed that for us. Thank you, Gummy. We also have a mod here by Simnopki. Oops, that should say Simnopki. This is the Townie Aspiration Aging Fix, and this fixes the bugs when townies are aged up with a playable sim and do not receive an aspiration. So sometimes when you have a child age up in The Sims 2, the game will give you a little window asking you if you want to age up any townie children along with your child sim, and you can select to age I think it's like by default 3, up to 3 other townie kids along with your kid. And when that happens in an unmodded game, that child can sometimes age up with an incorrect aspiration, because when a child ages up from a child to a teenager, that is the point in The Sims 2 where they get to choose their life aspiration. And so when you age a townie child, sometimes that doesn't sort of happen correctly and they still have their grow up aspiration from being a child, and that can cause that sim to be a little broken. So that is why you want the Townie Aspiration Aging Fix. The Aging Baby Fix by Similar90 fixes a bug where sims attempt to age up a baby over and over and over again and keep failing. So when a baby reaches its birthday, your sim is supposed to go over, pick up the baby, toss them in the air, and they age up into a toddler unless you use a birthday cake. But yeah, in an unmodded game, that interaction is broken and can just try to trigger again and again and again. So this is a mod that fixes that. The Apartment Nanny Controller Fix by Beck fixes an apartment lot glitch relating to nannies. Always make sure to dismiss nannies on apartment lots, but if you don't, you can get an apartment nanny controller bug error that pops up, and this is a mod that fixes that. The Apartment NPC Move Out Fix by Midge the Tree properly resets an apartment lot after a townie or NPC moves out so that it's actually usable for playable sims. So this is For example, say you're playing in an apartment lot and you have one family living in there and the other 3 apartments get filled by townies. And then you decide, oh, I want to move another playable family into this lot. When you do that, the game will just kick out the other townies. But in an unmodded game, it doesn't kick them out properly. So you want this mod to make sure that it kicks them out properly and the apartments are actually usable. Creature Fixes, tweaked by Midge, is an old mod that, again, Midge the Tree has updated, which fixes various bugs relating to supernatural sims in The Sims 2. The Get Parents fix by Tuna is a Fish fixes bugs that occur when playing a family with no adult sims present on the lot, i.e. the Newson family in the sim bin. So you can, in The Sims 2, have a family with only teenagers and younger. And yeah, this mod is necessary if you want to play a household like that. Otherwise, you will get all kinds of bugs, particularly when your child gets home from school. In my Sims 2 hard mode series, we ran into this bug because I was playing without this mod and it was very annoying, so I had to go ahead and download it. The Butler Fix by Saijon, or this version by Lazy Duchess, fixes bugs relating to butlers and cooking. The Breadfruit Tree Fire Fix by Saijon fixes a bug where the breadfruit tree will catch on fire during a thunderstorm and never go out. So this tree right here, the breadfruit tree, is a Maxis tree. It's a very pretty tree. I like this one. Just don't move objects on. Here it is. But yeah, if this tree catches on fire in an unmodded game during a thunderstorm, because lightning can strike trees and they can catch on fire, this one won't go out. The other trees will, but this one won't. So that mod fixes that error. Then we have the Genie Initialization fix by Saijon, which fixes a bug relating to genies not initializing correctly or not spawning correctly. The Ghost Hack by Saijon fixes various bugs relating to ghosts. Now, Ghost Hack is a big mod. There are lots of optional components of Ghost Hack, but the bug fixes is for sure one that you want to have. Random Chance Fix by Dick Hurt fixes bugs relating to Max's Chance interactions. Whoops. And encounters. Read through the mod description for a better understanding of that one. I don't actually understand it all that well myself, to be completely honest. Then we have the Timing Fix by Lazy Duchess, which fixes bugs relating to hidden Maxis timers. So this one, if we take a look, most controllers in The Sims 2 work by checking every tick if the second and minute are both 0, and in some cases, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes this system breaks permanently and starts skipping seconds so it never hits 0. This leads to most controllers for timed events such as aging and aspiration decay breaking and never triggering again. This mod simply creates a new controller that forces the second to 0 every time the hour or minute changes, fixing the issue. Complicated description, you just take my word for it, you want that mod in your game. Architecture Chance Card Fix by Castrellin fixes a bug relating to a particular chance card in the architecture career. Very good mod to have. Crumple Fix by Pescado is an old mod that stops Sims from improperly interacting with Mrs. Crumplebottom in potentially game-breaking ways. So yeah, Mrs. Crumplebottom should no longer interrupt showering Sims to scream at them, and a Crumplebottom action should no longer stomp your queue. This is a helpful little mod to have. We do not want to interact with Mrs. Crumplebottom in annoying ways. Create a Sim Makeup Lag Fix by the Lazy Duchess. Again, Lazy Duchess. There are a lot of very talented modders for The Sims 2. Lazy Duchess is pretty amazing. Now, this one is only available currently for Ultimate Collection users. I will put a note in our document file here. But this one just simply fixes the intense lag you get when you're in step 4 of Create a Sim, which is makeup, accessories, and jewelry. So, helpful little mod for smoother gameplay overall. But yes, this one... Oh no, I already wrote it in here. Good job, me. Currently only available for Starter Pack or Ultimate Collection. Hopefully a version compatible with Legacy will be available in the future. The Bug Collection Fix by Saijon fixes a bug fixes an error where Sims cannot successfully complete a bug collection. So in The Sims 2, your Sims can hunt for bugs. I can't see the interaction right now, but sometimes your Sims can go hunt for bugs outside, and that will cause them to have a little bug collection object in their inventory. In an unmodded game, you cannot ever complete that bug collection unless you have this mod. Novel Royalty Fixes by Simnopkey fixes various bugs relating to novels, particularly if there is no phone present on a lot when a Sim finishes writing a novel. So in The Sims 2, when a Sim finishes writing their novel on the computer, the phone is supposed to ring, and that tells you what royalty payments your Sim will be getting for their novel. If you do not have a phone, then you just don't get paid, and that is devastating because it takes a while to write a novel in The Sims 2. So this mod fixes that. The Apologize Fury fix by Saijon fixes the apologize interaction so it works as originally intended. Fairly self-explanatory one there, but the Sims 2 Sims can get real angry at each other, and then when they are mad at each other, they can apologize, and the Fury fix mod makes that apology a little bit more effective, which is very nice. Business uniform fix. This one, okay, so this mod, I've had this mod for ages. I don't know where I found it, but it is the only mod that I have currently found that actually properly fixes this glitch. There are a variety of mods that claim to fix this glitch, and none of them, apart from this one, and I don't know who made it, actually seem to fix this glitch. But essentially, when in The Sims 2, when your sim owns a business, they can hire employees to work for their business, and then they can set that employee a uniform. So I can probably go ahead and demonstrate this one. I'm going to have Bethy start a home business. I don't know what we're going to do in our business yet, but let's just start a home business. This also applies to community lot businesses in the same way. Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much. Now what I'm going to do is hire an employee for my business. Just anyone will do. Don't really mind. And in the future, by the way, I'm going to have another deep dive video into Open for Business because it is like my favorite Sims 2 expansion pack. I have done a video all about Open for Business already in the past. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. Let's hire this guy. He's a test subject level 2. This guy's actually a teenager, but he's going to come work for me. So I'm going to need a little open close sign. Let me grab one of those. There we go. Now I'm going to call him into work. Everybody's here checking out my business and they're like, so what you selling? Absolutely nothing. My business is just my house. You can just come and hang out with me and it's fun. Here we go. So our little employee has arrived. Here he is over here. I can come over to Ephraim here. I can go management, set uniform. Oh, they're having trouble interacting because the lot is a bit slopey. It's okay, you guys can do it. Here we go. So say I don't want him wearing this tank top and pants for his, business uniform, which honestly I wouldn't. I want him to look a little professional. So I can go ahead, I can make him change his hairstyle if I want to, which is kind of funny. And then I can also change his outfit. So I can tell him to dress a little bit more, nicely for, say I want him to wear this as his business uniform. Okay, perfect. Now, when I do that, you will notice his eyebrows have disappeared and his face has changed. And that is the Open for Business business uniform glitch. When you set a Sim's uniform, their eyebrows disappear and their face resets. Now, what the mod I have linked does is it doesn't fix this glitch the first time you set the Sim's uniform, but every other time he arrives for work, he will be wearing his uniform and he will have the correct face and he will have his eyebrows. So that is a very helpful mod if you play Open for Business and you want to have employees in uniform and you want them to actually look how they're supposed to look. Then we have a mod by Simla90, which is the restaurant, food, bar, drink fix. This fixes a timing delay that enables other Sims to steal your Sims' food and drinks. So in an unmodded game, when your Sim's at a restaurant or ordering a drink from a bar, another Sim can come over and swipe their food or swipe their drink, which can be really annoying. And this mod fixes that and should prevent that from happening. Then we have a collection of memory fixes, and these are various fixes for Maxis memory bugs. I have a bunch of links here for you guys to look through and install if you feel like they are important to you. I personally do play with all of these mods installed. Then we also have pet pregnancy fixes by 2Jeffs, which fixes pet pregnancy timer bugs. So this is again an old mod which pet pregnancies will no longer result in runaway creation of pregnancy controllers on the lot that quickly make the lot unplayable. Should you already have this problem and have thousands of controllers on a lot, there is a debug option on the Sim Blender to delete them. So this is a very helpful mod which again prevents lots from becoming unplayable. And then in terms of the visual upgrades section of this and the gameplay options section of this, I do suggest going through this in your own time. Work out what is important to you. I personally, again, play with pretty much all of these mods installed, but it is beyond the scope of this video to go through these one by one. A few that I will point out to you: lot transition Open for Business motives fix, bladder init fix, and comlot arrival delay fix. These three mods are very helpful for fixing Maxis bugs where when your Sim travels to a different lot, their needs will completely reset. and bladder, and it fixes an issue where their bladder will always be half empty, which is just an annoying bug. So those 3 mods in particular I do recommend from this page. Take a look through these mods and decide which ones that you want to install or not. That is all that I have for you today. If you experience a lot of bugs in your Sims 2 gameplay, I do highly recommend checking out some of these mods, installing them, and hopefully your gameplay experience will be a lot smoother and more enjoyable. Once again, for any legacy players who have come to The Sims 2 and are experiencing a whole host of bugs, I'm so sorry. The Sims 2 is not usually like this. It is not usually this bad. Yes, we have bugs. No, we don't tend to have Sims randomly disappearing from our families. Bad bug. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you would like to see more from me and my channel, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and I will hopefully see you all again really soon. Everybody take care, have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.